several
Ooh.
times.
Ouch.
and like his jiu-jitsu cannot do on the guy that I support. Nothing.
Nothing worked.
Nothing.
Wow.
I just teach him how to technical stand up. He still get taken down, but he stand up quickly. And he frame good, just that. And then take that guy down again, ground pound some, and then stand up again, just that. The man is like that. Crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does that guy still fight?
Now he's start go to university in training less. But
Yeah.
next week he's gonna come
He's gonna come back?
for the no-gi class.
Very good. Have you thought about, so right now, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
gi.
Me?
Tuesday, Thursday,
Brother,
Yeah.
I'm very appreciated.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, no gi.
Yeah,
Have you
every
thought
day.
about changing
Monday,
it so
Monday we come back train.
maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning gi,
Yeah, bye bye.
Tuesday,
Thank you.
Thursday, Saturday afternoon gi, and then Tuesday, Thursday,
I
Saturday
already
morning
think
no
about
gi.
it, but I don't have coach. You know, I teaching a lot.
Right. Yeah, difficult.
I want to do it, but I need coach. You know.
hmm Can be hard. I wonder, that's something I thought about for getting people to stay longer, because like right now I know a lot of us, we're only here 3 months and then we have to do visa, come back, stay 3 months, kind of like Thailand used to be. But there are many countries that having a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu opens up visa entry, like long-term visa, because you're bringing a skill into the country. And since Vietnam still has not a lot of Jiu-Jitsu, not a lot of high-level Jiu-Jitsu.
I know that, but you know, if we do that, we have to have a lot of money.
Oh, it takes money to do that.
Because when we do that, we have to spend a lot of money to the government. If do the right way, if not the right way, it's gonna be more money.
Yeah,
Even
coffee money. Coffee money.
yeah, like, but and then you know, it's like it's still very Jiu-Jitsu is still very new with Vietnamese people. Even we do like 10 years already from Mr. Ray Open. It's already 10 years. But in Da Nang, still like our student is like 70% foreign,
Yeah.
30% Vietnamese. And you know, foreigner they not stay long. Like somebody they gonna stay 1 year, 2 years. Somebody 3 months, 6 months, and then they left. It's still hard to get rich from Jiu-Jitsu in Vietnam at this moment for community. So the most important thing we want to do is bring Jiu-Jitsu to Vietnamese people because they are here.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yes, and like Jiu-Jitsu skill is really good for self-defense, for Vietnamese kids also.
Yeah.
Like Jiu-Jitsu, Judo is the perfect combination. It's like when you have good in takedown, when you have good in ground game, you feel very confident. Even you not learn striking yet,
Yeah.
but when you can see like that in boxing, whenever they punch each other, they're gonna get closer. Then they hug each other.
100%.
Muay Thai is same. They punch, they kick each other, and then they get close, and then they cling each other.
Yeah.
So if you have good background in judo and jiu-jitsu, later then you can learn some striking for your self-defense.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
As soon as you get close, now you're controlling the fight.
Finish.
Right. And it's one thing I look at for Muay Thai, because you get the points for sweeping the guy.
Yeah.
But you have to do it a certain way. But every time I see the clinch, I think,
Hip throw.
Well, hip throw, I think a lot of things, but I like foot sweeps.
Yeah.
I
right
love foot sweeps in jiu-jitsu, and so every time I see the clinch, I just start foaming. Foot sweep, just
there. You do
spam.
Muay Thai before?
Yeah. In Thailand,
Yeah.
I trained in Phuket, and then up north in Udon. Yeah.
Is it normal?
So this gym that I trained at, Naka Muay Thai, it's a smaller gym. It's owned by a Thai woman and a guy from the Netherlands, and husband, wife, like you two. Smaller gym, but very good coaches, and very affordable. They don't overcharge. They don't care because they make money. And coaches always have private lesson, so not just leading class, but making money off private lesson also. They do very good. When I'm in Phuket, that's where I train because I like it. Smaller. You don't have to put up with fighter ego. Because you know how a professional fighter can be, like
Yeah.
big head.
I understand.
Yeah. I don't care. But up north, when I go up north into Isan, right near the Lao border, very good Muay Thai up there. Very, very affordable, but they have no jiu-jitsu. There's one jiu-jitsu school up there. It's run by a blue belt that's my age. He's a Thai man, my age, blue belt. And so when I went out there and I saw there was school, I sent him a message and I say, hey, when do you guys have class? I cannot see. Well, it was around holidays. And he said, well, we're closed here. Maybe, and I talked to one school and I say, hey, do you guys want to do jiu-jitsu classes? You know, like, I won't charge you to start off with. Like, let's build the class, I'll come in, and once we start getting students, then you can put me on payroll and what have you. But they don't want to do because if they hire a foreigner, they have to hire more Thai people. Because the government in Thailand says you have to have X Thai people for every foreigner who works.
Oh, okay.
The only way around that is if I open a business. Because the United States and Thailand have a treaty, so I don't have to follow normal rule. I only need 2 Thai people for every foreigner. But what do I hire Thai people for up there? Cannot teach. So what? Hire girlfriend, wife. Okay, receptionist. That's one Thai person. Well, what do I use second Thai person for? I don't know. I think it would be easier if have Muay Thai gym, but I cannot teach Muay Thai. So I would have to find coach or something. But I think would be very good up there. Like I said, no jiu-jitsu, only Muay Thai. It could be a destination for people who want to fight but don't want to pay Phuket prices. You know, because it is cheaper. Accommodation is cheaper, food is cheaper. Yeah, you don't have beach, but are you there to learn to make fight and train, or are you there to go to the beach and look a girl? Hey, breathing light. What's up, man?
Your live stream.
On live stream, yeah, we're cut your combo on there, talking about the fighters in the gym and stuff, because I wanted to show the gym because people see the gym, the old gym, many times.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, like I told Steve and Doug yesterday, I said I wish somebody would have sent me a direct message,
Yes.
and I would have come out and helped right away.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this was all going on until yesterday afternoon. I was looking at Instagram and I see, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to get out here. And so I went to the old location, did a couple of small things because there was really nothing left, but felt bad. And then
Why?
because I didn't help.
Don't worry, we have still.
Yeah, but I didn't have anything going on. It's not like I was working or I could have come and helped.
Bưng ra ngoài luôn, gấp xong chưa? Gấp xong chưa?
Light, if you're still in here, how's my audio, man?
Bưng ra ngoài dựng lên đi. Siết chặt lại đã. Oh, I missed the training.
Yeah, same. But I messed my neck up last week.
Oh wow.
Friday. It was very hot that day. Like, I was sweating before I even got to the gym, just walking. And hungover, because I go out night before I drink too much. And do many spar. You know, you were there.
Yeah.
And of course, he come in late. And he wants to fight. I say, okay.
Yeah, he want to fight all the time.
Yeah, I'm all right with it, but I'm just very tired at this point. Like, he's a young man, all kinds of energy, come in late. I'm old, I'm tired. And I'm so tired that I don't think about what I'm doing, and I think it's a good time to make double leg on him. But I'm so tired, I do it so slow, and I didn't keep my head up. I know better. I put my head down. So I ran right into him as he sprawls. I don't feel anything at time. No pain, no nothing.
Yeah.
I just, stupid me, takedown didn't work. Shouldn't have done. Should have just stuck judo. Because he doesn't want to play judo with me. And I get home and I sit on couch. Girlfriend make food for me. And I go to turn and I'm like, oh, I cannot move neck. What happened? So much pain.
Now you know.
And then move certain way and feel like somebody take knife. Just like explosion of pain. That night, cannot sleep. Because every time turn, wake me up. She tell me next morning, she say, you sound like baby when sleep. What do you mean I sound like baby? Yeah, because it hurts.
Yeah. Great.
Still not 100%. But
Do you have many people to watch?
right now, no, I think not. It's very hard to do jiu-jitsu live stream because many people do not understand. And let's be honest, unless you're out here training, it's very boring to watch. But I still try to do. But I
Does anybody see me?
have two people in here right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Breathing Light is still in here or not. He was. He's from Thailand. But he's like free advertisement for the gym here.
Yeah,
If-
thank you.
Foreigners come over, they can see it. You know, if you're teaching that day, they get to see you teach. Professor Andre's teaching, him teach. Me, if I'm teaching, I teach. They get to see everything. And then I usually talk to one student, like after class,
Yeah.
and try to get them to tell, like Doug. Doug was a good one. Old man, white belt,
Oh, he's so nice.
very
He
nice
help
man.
us every day.
Yeah, he has a big heart. But he was good because I remember I talked to him earlier in year, and I can tell very down
Oh, really?
about jiu-jitsu. Yeah, and talking to him, I can feel maybe he want to stop, maybe not motivated to keep going. And I tell him a real life story that when I was white belt, I went to IBJJF Dallas to compete, and I walk in venue, and second mat, this old man, like 70 years old, white belt, no stripe, and he's out there competing. 70 years old and just started jiu-jitsu. I say, how old are you, Doug? Okay, you're not 70. This old man, he went out, he fought, he competed. As far as I know, maybe still do jiu-jitsu, I don't know. But you're never too old to start something. Like, will you be able to beat up young, tough blue belt? Maybe not, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah, just beat yourself.
Yeah, beat yourself. Learn to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't have to use outside, but maybe somebody wants to start problem. Now you have skill. And maybe not feel like it because I give him other story. You come in, you start jiu-jitsu. He's up here when you start. You guys train same time every day. Your skill gets better, but his is getting better also. So you'll always have that divide of skill. But you don't know that you're getting better because everybody you train with is training same amount, right? It's not until new person comes in and you get to fight new person who never trained before,
Yeah.
then now you realize, oh, this does work. I am learning. I am getting better. And I think that helped him because he stays. But I do interview with him. It's easier for me to see the chat than up here.
You're very professional.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. Try to catch the training. I'll do some other stuff too. I did streaming for Muay Thai when I was in Thailand.
Yeah.
I wanted to do Vo Việt Nam here in Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
I have a place good at Vietnam.
You know a place?
Yeah.
I would love to know where it's at because I would love to do it. Even if they don't even speak English, that's
Yeah,
okay. I can just watch.
They speak good English.
And I'll tell you why. Many years ago, I had to get patches put on my gi for school. And I have tailor, tailor like seamstress. They do like sewing.
Yeah, Taylor.
Yeah, okay. So man is Vietnamese, but I didn't know he was Vietnamese at the time because I never knew his name, but I knew he did good work. I always took stuff into him. I took my gis into him to have him patch, and he's like, oh, Taekwondo, and I'm like, no, not Taekwondo, it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's like Judo. And that ended up making a story that he had a high-level Vo Việt Nam, and I'm like, I don't even know what Vo Việt Nam is. I'm like looking it up on my phone as I'm talking to him, and I'm like, holy shit, Vo Việt Nam. This is very cool. And apparently he left because of the war and settled in the United States. And I said, well, I understand you're a tailor, but why did you never open up a Vo Việt Nam school here in the United States? I have to imagine that you could have done well. It's not something we know about. It's a martial art from another part of the world. He's like, I don't want to or whatever. And he said, I taught my son, but my son doesn't care. That's too bad. So one day I will go to Vietnam, and I'm going to do this Vo Việt Nam that you're talking about. And he just laughed, like, yeah, whatever. I'm not even sure that man's still alive because he was very old.
Oh, okay.
So I have to do Vo Việt Nam at some point because I told him I would. And it looks interesting also.
Okay, wanna go back to work?
Yeah.
Thank you for talking.
Yeah. Do you need help with anything
Yeah.
before I walk around and show people?
Yeah, yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, I'll do that then. Fell over. All right, so let's take a look at the new place. We'll go outside first. We'll kind of do a walkthrough. It is very dirty right now because they've only started moving things over 2 days ago. If you didn't catch the stream before, kind of what happened was where we were at was an old stadium complex. I think it was like an Olympic training complex at one point in time. But the stadium fell under disrepair and all that. And like if you look it up on Google Maps, why can't I get my tripod closed? If you look it up on Google Maps, there's like trees and shit growing in the stadium itself, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the old gym was one of the off buildings from the stadium. And earlier this year, they had told me at some point in time, we're going to have to move. They're going to demolish everything and redevelop it. And it was just kind of like, okay, well, when is that going to happen? They didn't really know. It's up to the government. Well, the government came a-knocking and said, we're taking it over. You guys need to be out. And so it was kind of an all hands on deck. I didn't get a message about it. I just happened to come across it yesterday when we went out to the gym. I guess I didn't live stream yesterday. Anyway, I came across it on Instagram, went out to the gym, helped out with what I could, but a lot of the heavy lifting was already done. And then Doug, who's one of the white belts out here, gave me a ride to the new place. I'll flip the camera around here. Oh, did I mess it up? Oh, there we go. Okay. This is kind of the area that we're in now. I'll have to update, I don't know the exact address, but it is on the foreigner side of Da Nang. It is a little further from me away. I used to walk to the gym every day. A good warm up and a good cool down after training. But this is almost an hour each way walking for me. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to get a motorbike or something like that. But this is the outside of the gym. There's a big pickleball complex on the first floor when you come in. You can probably hear it. I'll take a peek under before we go inside and look at the jiu-jitsu stuff. So that'll be the entrance for folks to come in. Breathing Light, are you still in here? Oh yeah, it's huge down here. And there's a whole another section off to the right-hand side. Yeah. Holy hell, if we can take this over and make this part of the gym, that would be absolutely legendary. So this is a bigger location. I think they have about 200 more square meters than the old location. So it's actually this right-hand door, not the middle door. I don't know where the middle door goes. So this will be kind of a lounge area down here when you come in. Obviously, it doesn't look very loungy right now. You got the Buddhist shrine and stuff that you see at a lot of businesses and homes here in Vietnam. One thing I like is they've got this this little pool right here, which is pretty neat. And they've started putting fish in it. And if you've caught any of my streams before, I have fish at home. I got some that look like these little guys. There's a big guy in there, but I don't know if he's alive or not. He looks kind of old and decrepit. Yeah, anyway, once this gets going, it'll be pretty legit. They need to get an air pump in here to aerate the water. You come in, you walk up the stairs. You have reception right here. Professor Tan probably won't be back there. He'll probably be out teaching.
We are set up the reception table.
Excellent. We're getting the reception ready. All the gis and all that stuff. And then over here, you get the strength and conditioning area that'll be set up. It's all the stuff we had before at the other place. Dumbbells, medicine balls, exercise balls, bands, kettlebells over there. You know, power racks, squats, tires, free weights, machines. They've actually, he didn't tell me what other machines they're bringing in, but he bought some other machines to make this whole area much better. Before, because we had little space, you kind of worked out on the side of the mats, a little precarious. And now you've got the whole area to yourself, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Not a lot of windows to open though. I'll be curious to see how muggy it gets in here.
Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, if you want to enjoy lunch.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
You okay?
Yeah. I haven't done any work today. I'm only videoing,
Okay.
so I cannot eat yet. I have to earn it. Mat area, same size mats that we had at the other gym. Closer to walls and stuff though. Over here will be kind of a seating area, so you can watch and hang out. And I thought he said he might put something else. Oh, coffee, refreshments, all that. Obviously, we'll have music. That's with that, with the TV. So at the old location, when I first started training there earlier this year, they had a cage, an octagon, if you will, and they ended up breaking it down and moving it out to have more space. And I thought they were just getting rid of it entirely. Apparently they just put it into storage because it is here. And they're gonna set that up in this back corner, kind of away from everything. So we'll still have that. But keep in mind, right now there is a second location that's south of where the old location is. That's the MMA portion for Renzo, Gracie, Da. So even though we'll have the cage here, they're solely focused on jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling here. They're removing the striking classes that they used to have at the old gym and only having those at the second smaller location. And then back through here, there's a second entrance, and you'll have to kind of visualize for me as we come in here. But if I remember everything correctly, so you got two doors. What was he saying? So over here will be a changing room, and then half of this, he's not sure what he's gonna do with yet. We come in here, so there's gonna be 4 bathroom stalls on this wall, and then he's gonna put in a sauna over on this side, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of excited for that, actually. Get some heat shock proteins and all that jazz. Well, this part's a little weird for me because you're gonna have bathrooms right here, but there's gonna be a kitchen right here. So yeah, I think we're gonna keep that there. And then you have this room back here, which is gonna be like the coach's lounge. And it's pretty big. It's pretty big. Separate bathroom. Obviously, it will have a shower in it, which is pretty dope. We don't have to use the regular showers. But they're tearing everything out to redo it. I'm kind of excited to see what this area will look like too, being the coach's lounge. Light, you're back, my man. You're back. Just giving a quick tour of what the new location looks like and what it's gonna look like. We're gonna be open for classes here on Monday, kind of a soft opening, if you will. Obviously, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in a lot of the other areas. Hey, Moji. Moji. Choop choop. A lot of work that needs to be done for this other stuff, for the saunas and all that. Professor Tan's saying maybe 10 days or so. Yeah, well, so this stuff back here, 10 days. That's kind of what they're aiming for, to get it done in 10 days. But outside here, so the regular training stuff, we will be able to get that. I mean, the mats are already laid. There is one final portion that needs to be done, and I asked him about it because I don't like the current mat setup, because you've only got the 1.5-inch mats right now, and there's no padding below. And so if you get thrown on this, it's gonna hurt. Especially like a dude my size. If I throw you on this, full force, it doesn't, even with padding, it's not gonna feel good. But usually what we do in these situations, oh, you're fine, it's okay. What we do in these situations is take like carpet padding and put it underneath, and that will absorb some of it. And that's if like traditional judo schools would use like a spring-loaded floor. And that's almost, I'll take anybody's throw on that stuff. But they're not doing that here. So anyway, Sunday they're gonna put the padding down underneath the mats. And there's little Tom, who messed my neck up on Friday. Actually, he didn't mess it up, that was my fault. I was tired and dumb and slow and whatever. Anyway. So yeah, regular classes, well, they'll have the mats and stuff done. They can't lay the padding down for a few days because they got to get the pads on the wall to protect the walls, and that's what they're working on right now, getting the beams set up so they can put the padding up there. That'll probably be done today, I would guess. Yeah, it's all hands on deck. And there's actually less people here now than were here. Spring-loaded subfloor would be really nice, Matt Abstract. We're in agreement on that. Yeah, right. Spring-loaded floor is nothing. I love spring-loaded floor. Normal judo training, even just training, if I'm the uki, I actually fight the throw subconsciously because I don't want to be thrown on the floor. Even if it's by somebody smaller, because I weigh enough that they execute correctly. You know, 103 kilos going down, it's still a lot of goddamn weight, man. No, I don't own this breathing. I say we because I help them teach when they need me to. But I am a Renzo Gracie black belt myself. This is a Renzo Gracie gym. Just kind of, I don't know. I shouldn't say we, my, us, whatever. Oh, severe mat burn, yeah. So usually for me, that's usually like the puzzle mats that look kind of like this, that end up scraping up my toes and beating the shit out of my feet. The first place I started jiu-jitsu at, which was actually a 10th Planet gym back in the day, for months, my feet were just jacked up constantly. In fact, I've got an old picture on Facebook of how messed up my feet were at the time from jiu-jitsu. I absolutely hated it. Just tore my damn feet up. Oh, and my neck, because I constantly got choked when I started. It was horrible. Yeah. Well, what's the old saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. 100% true. And more ways than one. Yeah, 10th Planet is Eddie Bravo. That's when he was, this was back around 2008, 2009. He was just kind of trying to get his stuff off the ground at the time. The instructor of that school is an interesting fellow. He had a black belt in traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu, which if you know anything about it, it incorporates some grappling, some takedowns, but it's not Brazilian jiu-jitsu, we'll just say that. They will lose 10 out of 10 times against a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. But yeah, Derek, so we had that. Had some traditional hybrid martial arts thing also that was kind of weird. But somehow got hooked up with Eddie, made a moon, which is what they call their sub-schools. And I think Eddie gave him a purple belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and he got his brown, eventually got his black. I was only there a year. I've stayed friends with a couple of the guys. That's how I actually ended up, well, I don't talk about it much, but I worked for Google for almost a decade after the military. And what got me that job is one of my training partners at 10th Planet was an engineer at Google, knew that I was in the market for a job, because at the time the economy was bad. I just left where I was, and he knew I had a IT background, and was like, hey, give me your resume, and I just kind of laughed or whatever. Next thing I know, I worked for Google forever. That's what ended up taking me down to Tennessee and hooking up with the Renzo guys down there. Opened up the data center out there at the time. I never met Ari. Submission 101. I always thought he was kind of a weird dude. I don't know what his stuff was like these days. He did put out a lot of videos, which isn't a bad thing, but I just remember at the time, and I wasn't qualified to talk about it at the time. I thought his technique was pretty sloppy. Hopefully he's refined that over the years. I got to imagine he has if he's stuck with the game. Yeah, so I left that gym after a year, and it was all no-gi, obviously, and went to, so this was in Omaha, Nebraska, right in the middle of the country, and I went to Team Vaghi, V-A-G-H-I, and Vaghi, for the longest time, kind of ran that area of the country. Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri. He had some stuff over in Illinois also. And he's Rodrigo, great guy. You can look him up. He just got his coral belt from Hickson. He was a Hickson guy. He was buddies with Salu and Shandi Hibero, a bunch of the old school heavyweights of jiu-jitsu. Teamed up with those guys and stuck with them up through purple before I ended up transferring down to Tennessee with work, and that's where I hooked up with the Renzo guys. My brown belt actually came out of Team Legion, which is Fort Campbell's 5th FSG group. It was a Air Force guy and a 5th group guy that actually promoted me to brown at the time. Even though I was under Renzo, the belt came through them, because it was kind of a weird thing. But yeah, and the black belt came from Renzo guys. Yeah, I'm an ex-tech guy. Technically, I'm still a tech guy. I transferred over into from engineering into cybersecurity, and had been doing that. I'm not working now. That's one of the reasons I'm over here. The job market is complete dog shit in the United States. My contract that I was on, it was a finite contract. We knew that when I took it, and it was going to end 3/4 of the way through last year, which it did. Actually ended a little early because we were able to get the work done. But I had been looking for another position since January, December. Not last December, but the December before, into January on. And I got hold of 3 interviews, 2 of which they decided to offshore the job. I get it, why pay me 6 figures when you can get somebody from India, the Philippines, Mexico is where one of the positions went. And then the other one, I made it all the way to the end. It was a local company, actually. Only to get rejected, and I thought the interview went extremely well. So I asked the HR gal, I said, did the hiring director leave any notes? So I'm kind of curious why you guys are passing over me with all the experience I have. Well, I'm still pretty new to cybersecurity, even though I know all the talk and the workflows and the regulations and all that shit. The guy wanted somebody with more time and seat in direct cyber. So they passed over me on that one. Still looking, job market's still complete dog shit. AI is shaking everything up. But, I mean, I can live here. I don't have to work. I'll just say that. Fuck the puzzle mats, 100%. Top secret professor. Yeah, no, I don't have any clearances currently. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Because if I did, actually I know I don't. We've got a big Air Force base in Nebraska, which is where I was living at before I moved out here. I went back home to Nebraska after Tennessee, and they hire a lot of cyber out there. But you have to have a security clearance, an active security clearance, which is very expensive if you do it on your own, and most people aren't going to. But none of the contractors out there would hire me because they're not going to pay to put me through for the clearance. Yeah, so Daisy Fresh is actually Team Voggy at the end of the day. Keith Pedigo is a Voggy guy and has been forever. He's got his own branding, his own team, but he is still a Voggy guy. So yeah, he did get his black belt from Rodrigo. And Heath has done an absolute phenomenal job with that team. Pedigo Submission Fighting is, they put out some really good guys. I actually don't know what they're up to these days. I haven't heard a lot about them. But I'm buddies with Heath on Facebook, and a lot of those guys out of St. Charles and St. Louis, Rodrigo. I forget some of their names. There's actually a guy in St. Louis that has the same name as me. He's not a black belt. I think Mike's same first and last name. He might be a purple. He might be a brown by now, actually. But it was funny because people would get us confused in Missouri. It's been tough stateside. It's been tough since easily last year. I've even tried to get back into the old school data center work that I've done, even though I've been out of the game for a bit. And the only headhunters I hear from are out of New York. Because after I left Google, I worked for a high frequency trading firm in New York. I'm not going to say who. But it was kind of soulless work. I mean, it paid extremely well. Very bright people. I thought I worked with smart people at Google. I mean, there were undercover PhDs and shit that I worked with at this place. Just phenomenal people, but we didn't have a product. We weren't doing anything for humanity. We were making the rich guys that own the place richer. And for me, I need some kind of purpose. At least, you know, you can call Google, it is what it is, but they did make products that helped the world. You know, search, you know, their free suite of products, be it Gmail, Docs, Sheets. You know, YouTube is a great learning resource if you don't doom scroll it. They're better now, but because I've been out of the game so long, I get passed over. I have never gotten even a rejection back from Apple. Something weird happened with Amazon where they thought I was on the facilities side of the house. So like the HVAC, cooling, the plant operations, and my resume doesn't say any of that. I'm an IT guy through and through. But somehow they keep contacting me for infrastructure or facilities side of the house. And I keep telling them, I'm not a facilities guy. Send me jobs for engineering, data center, IT. Look at my resume. It's not that hard. You can see it a mile away. Never heard anything from Microsoft. Facebook has been Meta has been a hard nut for me to crack. I've interviewed with them a couple of times. Their interview process is really weird on the technical side. Their technical interviews are very scripted, and they want predefined specific answers. And you're an ex-tech guy. If I ask you a technical question, there's usually 4 or 5 ways to skin that cat in terms of what the answer can be. And without context, I don't know what answer you're looking for necessarily. Heath is a beast. All the Heath guys are a beast. I don't glow enough. No, I do not glow enough. But it depends on who you talk to. I might glow pretty hard. And that's not me admitting anything. But that's something that somebody would say probably if they were a chef at the Culinary Institute of America. So the company was in Manhattan, and one of the areas, the streets that you named is actually in their name. But they have a small 3 to 5 megawatt data center north of the city. So I actually lived in Elmsford, which is just a tiny village. White Plains would be a better descriptor of it. And the data center was not too far north of that. That's about all I can say. I can't give you a specific location or even the city for where it's at. Not because I don't know, but I don't need them potentially coming after me for outing the location of their data center. They were very, very, very secretive about it. Fang's overrated, but I like Fang. I mean, it was easy work. If you're a hard worker, the one thing I liked about it is I probably only work typically 3 to 4 hours a day, unless we were closing down a project that had delays or something like that were out of our control. Then I would put in some long hours, but on a typical day I was only working 3 or 4 hours a day because my metrics were just that much further ahead of my coworkers that I could get away with it. And I would spend the rest of my time just studying, working on other projects, what have you. So I guess, I'm still kind of working. Lake Show, I have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a brown belt in Judo. I kind of gave Judo up, one because I'm old, and 2, I really just wanted to focus on BJJ. And I have enough Judo skill for BJJ to take most guys down. Against another judoka, I'm probably just looking to take it to the mat as quickly as possible. Westchester County. White Plains is in Westchester. Yeah. And if you looked at my coworkers, most of them probably only did like an hour of work. But the perks of working there was great. We had phenomenal food. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner there every day. Now, breakfast is what it is, but I'm a simple guy, so eggs and bacon. I need all the protein I can get. Lunch was absolutely phenomenal. We usually had 3 entrees set up, and then dinner would typically be 2 entrees. You'd go in and kind of pick it up, and it wasn't like lunch. Lunch was kind of a social event and very nice, and that was the big meal of the day. We had gyms on site, so a lot of times, the cafe would be open, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And at our big site, we had multiple cafes because every building had its own kitchen and stuff with different menus. So typically what I would do is take my hour lunch break, go to the gym, lift, turn around, shower real quick, get out of the gym, go to the cafe before it closed, pick up my lunch, put it in a box, go back to my desk, eat while I did some work. For me, it took a little longer, so I had 2 injuries at one point in time. I'll show you my one leg if you can see the scars on it. So I had a bilateral fasciotomy. The left side actually looks worse than the right side. The scarring actually healed up pretty nice. probably 9 or 10 inches slit down on both sides. It's a long story how that happened, but it was right after I got my purple belt. That took me out for about a year, 18 months with the recovery and stuff. Had a lot of complications with it, almost lost the leg entirely. Had broken ribs at one point, that took me out for 6 months. In between, there's kind of a blackout period of my life that I'll talk about in person if I meet any of you guys ever. You can ask me about it, but I took a couple years off away from civilian work and did some work overseas, we'll say that. So I wasn't training during that period of time. And then when I got back, I was still a brown belt, and I was still in New York. Ended up snapping my ACL and had to have that fully reconstructed. That took me out for another year, 18 months. The quickest ACL recovery that I know of was Adrian Peterson, who played for the NFL and the US, and he made it back in 6 months. Granted, he's a millionaire, access to all kinds of doctors, trainers, performance-enhancing drugs, peptides, so that's a quick recovery. It took me about 18 months before I felt good. So all said and done, you know, it's 2026. I started around 2008, 2009. I don't know, 15 years. You know, we used to say 12 to 16 years average. If I wasn't injured and dicking around with some other stuff, I probably would have got it sooner, but 15 years. I'm also older. You know, I'm 47. I started this shit late, even though I had a wrestling background and judo background. Still very tough on the body. Yeah, so both the knee and the left leg were from sparring. It was in sparring, not even competition. Kind of a long story on the fasciotomy one, but the ACL tear was just a guy being a dick. I picked him up for a throw. It got very heated because he was a brown belt also. He couldn't take me down. I stopped him, and I don't know if he just thought I was playing with him or what. But typically I let guys work their takedowns or whatever. We were playing King of the Hill. And I had about 20 pounds on the guy, about the same height. But at the gym we were training at, East Coast United, which is near Elmsford. I forget what specific village it's actually in, but they're Renzo adjacent guys. Their mats were about 1.5 feet off the ground with concrete all around. And like I said, we really got into the sparring match playing King of the Hill for takedowns. I had this guy loaded up for an ogoshi, which is a hip throw, and realized that my toes were right on the edge of the mat. And if I dump this guy, I'm going to dump him an extra 1.5 feet down and onto concrete. I don't want to hurt anybody. Not in training, preferably not in a competition, but a competition is what it is. So I slowly let the guy off my hip, deloaded him, and kind of let my hands go, thinking, okay, this guy realizes where we're at also, and we'll reset. No, he drove his hips right through my knee, blew the ACL out. Yeah, the ribs suck. There's nothing you can do about it either. You're gonna be in pain until they heal. And don't sneeze, for Christ's sake. Yeah, everything's super tough on the body. It's one of the reasons that I quit doing judo. Judo, I find, is actually tougher on the body than jiu-jitsu. And I already have back, shoulder, knee problems. I don't need that added stress. Like, I'm gonna be one of these old guys with a walker at some point in time. You know, we're good to go today, but walking, going up and down stairs, everything fucking hurts. Light, are you still in here, or did you leave us? One of my buddies is messaging me. It's supposed to be in the damn stream, but how did he send that? Oh, Signal, and I can't access Signal. I have him on WhatsApp. Let's see if he gets the message. Apparently we lost Breathing Light. I did have a question for Breathing Light. Lake Show, are you still in here? I'm gonna go get some water. We lost everybody. Oh, did my stream freeze? Looks like it might have froze. Yeah, getting hurt sucks. And coming back from it was tough. So the first big injury I took, so I actually injured my ribs as a white belt. About the only thing that I took away from 10th Planet was the lockdown, and I still use it to this day. I've kind of perfected it to piss people off and they can't get out of it. But it is my old go-to oh shit, because I'm not a great half guard player, even though that's a half guard. I use it to keep you in place so you can't pass me. I really don't like big guys in side control. God, what was his name? He was actually in the Ultimate Fighter. He was on our team, Team Voggy. Never did like the guy. Warmed up to him a little bit in the later years. And what was his name? He lost his only fight on the Ultimate Fighter, but he was a big dude. He was a heavyweight, every bit of 265. Can't think of his name. Anyway, I had him in lockdown, and he was mainly a Muay Thai guy, even though he did jiu-jitsu, and I think he was a purple belt at the time. But the leg that I didn't have locked down, he raised that knee up and slammed it into my ribs because he couldn't get out of the lockdown. Total dick move, broke my fucking ribs, my effing ribs, excuse me. Put me out of training. Absolutely hated it. Egg, about time. You got my message. Thanks, man. Your messages were popping up on my phone, and I'm like, I can't respond to this right now because I'm streaming. Abstract, how old are you, man? How old are you, dude? You absolutely should get back into training. 100%. You know, the two leg injuries I got were kind of freak accidents. They shouldn't have happened. It is what it is. Where I was going with that, though, is I just got my purple belt before I got the first leg injury. And, you know, the white belt injury with the ribs, I didn't know my head from my ass, so that doesn't matter. But I was a mean purple belt. I was a solid 245 pounds. I was powerlifting every day, moving massive weight, and I was just mean. My jiu-jitsu was very fundamental, very basic, but I had gotten it to the point where you knew what I was doing, where I was going, but you couldn't stop it. So when I got that leg injury, I was hopped up on legally oxy for pain the entire time, and I just lost a bunch of weight and strength, coordination. Had to learn to reuse that leg again. When I came back and actually got cleared for training, I was so weak and my stamina just wasn't there. My body was just so broken that I had white belts coming after me and beating the shit out of me. There's nothing I could do. And I think a lot of guys and gals probably would have quit rather than going back over that hill. Because it was a colossal effort to get back into it. And I've never been the same. Black belt me would not want to fight prime purple belt me. It even scares me talking about it. I was going to make a run at Worlds that year, and I had no doubt I was going to win it. I only competed once at purple. After I got all the recovery and stuff, I got to a fat, kind of, I won't say fat, but I was a fluffy 245 at the time. And my only competition was in Chile and Vina del Mar. I was down there for work with Big G. We're helping out with the data center there in Santiago. And I had heard that there was a tournament going on. And I'd done some training in Santiago, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to go to this tournament. Ended up sweeping the super heavyweight division, went into the open, swept the open, got 2 golds. Only foreigner that's ever been in that specific competition. It was the biggest one in Chile, apparently. And it was wild. Like, I wish I would have had my coworker that was with me record it, because I had my coworker, our driver that we rented for the day, and then a dude from Senegal who actually lives in Chile now, who was helping me translate and interpret because my Spanish is trash. 3 people on my side. The whole other side of the arena was all Chileans in the championship round for the Open, cheering on their dude. And ended up beating his ass. Walked away with 2 golds. Didn't compete at brown at all. And haven't competed at black. I don't care to compete anymore. I don't have it in me. The dog is not in me anymore. I'm that dude, Neon Belly, yeah. In fact, I don't think he's still here. There's a Russian kid that's my height. He's one of our white belts. He got a little froggy with me one day, and I gave him about 50% pressure, Neon Belly, and he tapped out and was out the rest of the day because of it. I felt bad, because I didn't intend to hurt him, but I didn't know he was pansy. Yeah, yep. Like Clarksville in Tennessee with CKV, SPC, Spring Creek. CBF was the original Council Bluffs data center in Iowa, and then they opened up another site. Oh shit. I think it was it. What the hell was that? SLN, Southlands. SLN was the code. But yeah, airport codes. Right. Pryor, Oklahoma, which was our sister site, and Iowa, redundancy, PRY. I think they bought extra land, so they might have secondary 3-letter complex out there. Forget what the Dowels was. DLS maybe? Georgia, you had 2 sites, they decommed 1. Widows Creek, That was Clarksville's sister site, Widows Creek. And then they opened up a bunch more after that. Henderson, Nevada. There's an Ohio one. They actually opened up stuff. Before I left, before I transferred, we didn't even know internally that they were building a site in Nebraska. Because I lived in Nebraska and I would commute over to Iowa every day for work. They announced it the same day that my transfer took effect. So I was locked in already to go to Tennessee, and I was pissed. Absolutely pissed, because I would have stayed in Nebraska. But I'm glad I didn't, because I got to help a good friend of mine, James, build his gym up, Renzo, Gracie, Clarksville, and see them become very successful. Made a lot of lifelong friends out there. So it was probably a good thing. Sao Paulo. They have a, I don't know if I would call it a mini cluster. It's not a full-on, well, I mean, it's a data center, but it's not a full-on data center like we usually talk about hyperscale-wise in Sao Paulo. So I wanted to transfer there at one point in time, but the pay was absolutely abysmal. Even though the city is very expensive, and it was just like, no, I'm not going to transfer there. Almost transferred to LA for the mini cluster out there. But pay became a thing with that also. They wouldn't give me enough money for the transfer, and the cost of living was much higher. Egg salad, are you still in here, buddy? Where my mod at? That hasn't been in here for like 4 months. Well, abstract. I can't remember. How much of this place did you see while I was walking around? Did you get to see the whole thing, or no? Because if not, I'll take you guys for a walk, since we got a couple extra people in here we didn't have before. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll take a quick walk through then again. We'll go outside, and I'll kind of explain everything that's going on. So if you're tuning in late, basically what happened, we had a location. You look at Da Nang, you find the old stadium on the west side of the city. Even from Google Maps, the satellite view, you can see there are trees and shit growing in the bleachers of this big stadium. And it's a lot more decrepit than it really looks from the satellite. So the old gym was one of the buildings, one of the outbuildings there. And they knew at some point in time they were going to have to leave, because the government wants to redo the whole area. And well, that came 2 days ago or whatever. They told them, you got to get out. And so all hands on deck thing. And so now they've got this new location, and we are on what I call the foreigner side of Da Nang. Maiki Beach is over there. Lady Buddha is up there. You can see the hills on the north side of the city. This is pickleball over here on the first floor. So if you decide to come out here, I don't know what any of that is. Probably who used to be here or something, but the address will actually take you to the pickleball courts. This is our entrance over here. It is not the middle entrance, it is the right-hand side. If you're on a motorbike, your motorbike guys will direct you to go over here. Park your motorbike on the side there so it's out of the way. When you come in, this will be kind of a little lounge area that we've got. Typical Buddhist shrines you see in homes and businesses will be right here, as they already are. They got a little fish pond. They've started already putting fish in. If you've caught any of my streams before, I've never been a fish guy, but I have my own fish at home. that I've populated, and that reminds me. Me and the lady need to go out later today. I'll probably recharge the phone and we'll go out to the market just to get her out of the house and probably buy some more fish. So lounge down here, you got your fish, you get your little zen on. I don't mean that in a bad way, it's a good way. Come up the stairs and you'll have reception right away. And the receptionist is back there. Check in, sign up. Where we were standing before, sorry about the noise. This will be the strength and conditioning area. Before it was just on the outskirts of the mats, so it was a little precarious to lift, but they've got a bunch of stuff now. They're getting more stuff, more machines, which will be pretty cool. You can see my ugly mug. My disgusting fat body, all 103 kilos. Come get some. I love to lay on dudes and snuggle with them. Mat space. So we are doing a soft opening. I say we, it's not my gym. I just train here. I'm a Renzo guy. They are going to be doing a soft opening Monday. We will have classes. The gym itself is not going to be entirely done. But here's the mat space. Over here will be kind of another lounge area for coffee, refreshments, and you can sit and watch class. Here's Professor Min right here. That's actually Vietnam's first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Professor Min, her husband Tan, I don't know where he went. I think he's the second homegrown Vietnamese Jiu-Jitsu black belt. We got another little cubby hole back here. So at the old place, we used to have an octagon, a cage. They took it down, and I thought they got rid of it. Nope, they put it into storage, and so the octagon and cage will be set up back here. Kind of an interesting thing because they did away with the striking classes at this location. They have a second location where they still have striking, and it's more MMA focused. But here they're going to stick purely with jiu-jitsu and judo and wrestling. So setting up the cage, I'm not entirely sure about that since we're not going to do any striking and stuff anymore. I'm going to try not to get shit in my eye, which I just did. Fucking hell. So secondary entrance, if you park your motorbike, probably the entrance you'll end up coming up. You need to stay out of the way of these guys. Changing room here, to be decided here. Toilets, restroom here. Sauna over here. Oddly enough, this will be a kitchen, and then this whole room back here will be the coach's lounge. We have our own bathroom and shower. Obviously, it will look better than this when they're done. They're tearing everything out. So this stuff will not be ready probably for a couple weeks. But the mat space out there will be ready on Monday. Rest assured. Kind of what we got going on. I'm pretty excited. Let me put my eye protection back on so I don't get another piece of metal in my eye. Hello. Yeah, that's what we got, guys. I'm excited for it. About 200 square meters larger than it was before, which is nice. It's legit. And as I pointed out to Professor Tan in our earlier conversation, I think the location will be good for getting more foreigners in the gym. Sorry, I'm trying to get my tripod going here. There we go. I'll be bouncing between Da Nang and Thailand. That's kind of the weird thing. So I'm like 2.5 years off from being able to get a retirement visa in Thailand. If I want to stay long term in Thailand, I would have to get the DTV, which is a 5-year visa. And it's not pricey, but it's a good chunk of change. I could do that and stay in Thailand longer term. However, I don't see the point in paying for a 5-year visa that I'm only going to use half of, when I can just kind of bounce around. But if you've seen the recent news concerning Thailand, they're doing away with the 60-day visa on arrival. They've clamped down on how many times you can use it, which puts me in a bit of a bind because my girlfriend's Thai, and she doesn't like being away from me. She's afraid that a Vietnamese girl's going to steal me or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I think it's kind of cute, but also kind of crazy. So anyway, we're in Vietnam now. When my visa refreshes, we will be going back to Isan, kind of northwestern Isan. And I was discussing with Professor Tom earlier. I've thrown around to a couple of Muay Thai gyms about implementing a jiu-jitsu program. Now I think it would be good for them. The Thais that own the gyms get really sketched out when I start talking about it because they would have to hire more Thai people. You have to have X amount of Thais for every foreigner that you have hired on the payroll. Now me as an American, works a little different than a lot of other foreigners because we have a treaty with Thailand from like the late 60s or 70s. I forget what it's called, I'd have to look it up. But basically, I can run a business and I only have to have 2 Thai people for every foreigner that works. So I'm kind of at a crossroads of, do I open up a gym myself in Isan and not have any Muay Thai, which is kind of stupid. I don't know what I'm going to do. But they also don't have any jiu-jitsu up in her area. It's a decent sized town. It's smaller. It's Udon Thani. There are a lot of expats up there, but usually those expats have a girlfriend or a wife that's from the area, and that's why they're there. There is great Muay Thai up there. You know, it's old school, it's rugged. There's another streamer who I've asked to go up. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got a little off topic and all over the place. My mind is all over the place concerning that. Ideally, I'd like to bounce back and forth between both. But I talked to Professor Tom also about like long-term visa for Vietnam because I'm a black belt. I have a skill set that I bring into the country. Apparently that's very expensive. If you want to do it the right way, it's expensive here in Vietnam. I'd like to have long-term visas in both countries and just kind of bounce back and forth. It would be very nice. Yeah, absolutely. Please do. Either place. Like, you know, if you're in Thailand or whatever, if I'm back in Isan, come up and see me up there. Anybody's welcome anytime. Even the shit talkers, come on out. I don't care. What is up, Joe? Sweaty cock to you also, my friend, or Sawadi ka. Cop. You need to add a P on your cock. Otherwise you sound, marriage visa, yeah, breathing light. Well, I mean, that's an option also. I'm still feeling things out. I like the girl. She's probably watching us right now. She is a great girl. She does take very good care of me. She does not ask for shit. But, you know, conversely, I also treat her like a princess. I take her out to eat, you know, pay for her to come over here, buy her gifts and flowers and, you know, all the shit that you're supposed to do as a good human being for your significant other. But, I mean, hell, I tried to do laundry one day and she yelled at me. Like, straight up yelled at me for trying to do my own laundry. I'm a grown-ass man. I can do my laundry. No, it's apparently not my job. Yeah, dude, you should come up It's chill. You know, if you're into degeneracy shit, they do have some small sections of that. There are two, they're not really walking streets, they're kind of walking alleyways up there. You can look them up online. You got Nutty Park, and then the bigger kind of weird one is Night and Day. So it's a little more toned down than like Bangkok, Phuket, Bangla, Pattaya, which I've never been to. But if that's your thing, you can absolutely do it. I like to people watch, especially places like that. So it's not uncommon for me on a weekend or whatever to pull up a corner and grab some Chang and watch idiots be idiots, or watch the newbies get taken by the LeBrons. Like Joe. Joe would be a prime example. I would get that Marine drunk and send him off with a LeBron, and then make fun of him the entire time the next day. You going for the marriage visa breathing? I kind of wondered. It seemed like you and your lady had been together quite a while, and I figured maybe something like that would be coming down the tube. Yeah, that's the one thing about Thai girls I've noticed. They're all crazy. Some worse than others. And the only problems I've had with mine is when she's on her period, she's literally the stereotype of women on a period that we're not supposed to talk about in the West. She gets absolutely bonkers insane. More so if she's not with me. Like if she's back in Udon and not with me, it's absolute insanity for a week. The messages and shit that I get, the video calls. But if she's with me, it's actually bearable. Actually bearable, believe it or not. Elite visa, I have not looked into that one. I don't know that I would qualify with the word elite. I'm kind of a cheap Charlie in that regard, that I don't like spending money on shit like that. I mean, look at me. I don't even want to pay for a DPV because I'm not going to use the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know what got put in the water. I've heard stories that Vietnamese women can be crazy also. Thai. You know, there's a stereotype about Cambodian women. We all know about Filipinas. Filipinas is kind of understandable because they got some of that Spanish gene in some of them. So I kind of expect it from Latin girls. Sometime. I got a funny thing. So you said you want to go up to Udon. There's a very well-known guy. They call him the Samtam Ladyboy, but he's not really a ladyboy. He's more just a very flamboyant gay man that cooks Samtam up there. I've actually got a video on my YouTube channel, same name, that you can see a little bit of his work and his flamboyantness. The guy's a trip. I think they call him Ladyboy because he's gay, and he does wear makeup, but he doesn't wear like feminine clothes or anything like that. He's actually, if you go to Udon, you have to go see the guy. You have to go see him. He's a trip, and his samtam is spicy as shit. It's very salty too for some reason. I don't know why. No, I'm just kidding. It's not salty, but it is very spicy. I had to throw a joke in there. It is a little humid in here. I think just a little bit. Joe and Egg, are you guys still in here? Or did you guys just come in and say hi and take off like a couple of idiots? My mods are never around. These idiots are the reason that I started streaming to begin with. Oh, you should do it. You'd be great at it. There's Egg. All right, Egg. Thank you. And where's the other clown? Where's the crayon eater at? Where's the devil dog? Favorite brands of ghee? That's a very good question. two. So I've only got one brand with me right now, Shoyu Roll, which is, as we all know, the Cadillac of gis. But even coming up through the ranks, so the first nice gi that I ever bought was a Shoyu Roll, because I was still heavily into judo at the time. When Shoyu Roll came out with their Meiutsu Maeda gi, that was my first gi. I still have it. It's in storage. It's actually in Egg's basement. Thank you, Egg, for allowing me to use part of your basement for my gi storage and my my pipe hitting storage. If you don't know what a pipe hitter is, look it up. Not that kind of pipe either. So shoyu rolls, but also what I found was I really like tatame, and we call it tatame the working man's shoyu roll. Oddly enough, I have a connection to tatame, being that they're a Welsh company. My maternal grandmother was Welsh. And I didn't even know they were out of Wales until I competed at IBJJF Euros. Took third in the gi, third in the open. Not my best performance, but that's a whole nother story. I got shit on in a match for something I did. It was totally within the rule book, but it ended up coming down to decision, and because my game plan revolved around that specific move, it ended up costing me the decision. But ended up running into Gareth, and I forget the other guys' names that owned tatame. They had went out for IBJJF Euros, ran into them, great group of guys. I don't know if they ever got into training, they just really liked watching jiu-jitsu and made a gi company at the time. But definitely tatame and shoyu roll. That's really all I've ever used. I've tried some other gis and haven't liked them, and turned around and gave them away. I think at one point in time I had 30 gis. I think I'm down to probably 15 or so, and only kept my tatame and shoyu rolls. You LARPed my vest. God damn it. Don't be breaking my plates. You're only supposed to break that out in case of turmoil, my friend. And remember, there's IFAC and other first aid shit in there. So if you're gonna LARP it or potentially put that stuff on, make sure you know where the other shit is, because you're not just gonna put a fucking body armor on and go walking about without having the first aid gear. Know how to use the tourniquets and all that. Joe can help you out with that. Breathing lights. Shabbos torture stream. I don't know if you caught it, but I was talking mad shit in between Shabbos stream and Waxy stream. And so Jackpot actually introduced me, or told me that I should introduce myself to Waxy, which I have. And we've been talking. I'm trying to get him out here to Vietnam to come train with me. I'm trying to get him out to Isan to do some Muay Thai training at some places I know out there. So we've got a bit of a rapport. I don't know how deep it is between us. He tends to respect what I put into his chat, and I put a couple things in there. Basically, you're our enforcer. Make this dude do all the stuff. Shaba was pussyfooting about, you can clip that and ship that. I will absolutely stand behind it. There's nothing he's going to do about it. He pussyfooted through the whole thing. It was not a torture stream. Like, condiment shower, come on, man. Like, take the kid gloves off. You know, do some actual shit. I brought up waterboarding at one point, and Waxy thought that was a great idea, and I was like, guys, if you don't know what you're doing, don't waterboard him, don't put it on there. You need to have somebody that knows how to do it. It can be dangerous. You can kill somebody if you don't know what you're doing. But yes, it would have been good. I put some other shit in there too that they should have done. But what else was it? Like, he was crying about, I have to dye my hair. I need 10 cents. But brother, who do you think you are? You're just getting started in the streaming game. You're asking for 10 subs to spin the wheel on some kid glove shit. Clip this whole thing. Send it to him. I don't care. And then he didn't even want to do half the stuff. Like, it said eat an onion and garlic. He thought he was just going to take a bite. No, buddy, eat the whole damn thing. You just got a bunch of subs. Like, what do you think? You're Ice Poseidon or Tazo or I don't know, somebody big? Like, they can command that type of sub request, but you do degen shit. You've been kicked out of places. You've started shit with people. Nobody's gonna give you 5 subs. I think I gave him 1 or 2 somewhere along the way just to kind of keep things going. No, he never did get the Jaeger bomb. I ended up turning off at one point just because it was going nowhere. I was really hoping they were going to bring the Ladyboys in because they had talked about it at one point in time and tie him up. I would have launched 10 subs for that. Tie him up. I brought up go get a Ladyboy, wrestle a Ladyboy, grapple a Ladyboy for a round. I didn't want to do that, and I was like, okay, well then grapple Waxy for a round. Didn't want to do that. Mad Abstract, how do I feel about show roll? I think they're great. They're just overpriced. They really are. I'm out of buying show rolls at this point in time just because they're too expensive for what they are. I mean, they're good quality. There's only one. I don't remember what issue it was, but they did some collab with a tattoo company, and the patching work on it was just complete shit. That's the only show roll gi that I've ever hated. I don't even wear it. I think I gave it away. I don't even think I still have it. I remember Padilla and Sons, Killer Bee. That was very short-lived, as I recall. What size are you normally for gi, Mad Abstract? Like, what's your height and weight? Tell me that also in American units, because I forget if you're American or European, but don't give it to me in centimeters and kilos. Give it to me in pounds and inches, feet and inches. All right, that's fair, Egg. Yeah, even if you're gonna go out shooting, always take a first aid kit with you. Shit can malfunction, you know, accidental discharges happen. Somebody else may shoot at you. Take that shit with you, please. Scramble, Fuji, inverted gear. I've heard good things about all three. I don't like them. Abstract, I like Waxy, but not Shaba. I'm not gonna say I don't like Shaba. I wouldn't want to hang out with him though, because I wouldn't put up with his shit. You know, some of the shit that he pulls is probably fine off camera, but you can't be putting that shit on camera. You know, my personal friend group and even my military buddies and stuff, if you know anything about military culture, it's very dark. Some people would think you're a racist, sexist, nationalist, transphobe, and maybe we are, but there are no limits to our jokes. But the thing is I'm not going to put that on video. Those aren't conversations or banter to put on video. I don't think it's cool to act like that on a camera. That's just me. And then, I don't know, he's a younger dude, but it's odd because he's older than Waxy. Waxy's a lot more mature than Shaba, age-wise. Some of the entitlement that Shaba has, I think he got approved too fast. Got the check mark too fast. I think it's kind of gone to his head. He doesn't seem to understand the rules of these foreign countries and how to deal with some of the expats, and that you can't just go around saying the shit that you're going to say, or you're going to end up in the situation like he did at, I don't think it was Lush, I forget what bar they were at, but Chrome Dome fucking chokeslammed his ass, and he was not ready for that, as much shit as he talks. And that's a guy that doesn't even know how to fight. Pissed one of the Muay Thai guys off, or a Jiu-Jitsu guy off, and if they come after you, it's going to be a whole different story. The kid needs to watch himself. He's going to get himself into hurt and trouble. The wheel was absolutely terrible. Yeah, and 10 of that $30 was for me. Just because do the thing. Do the thing. You know, it's not even tough. Well, that's the thing, yeah, abstract. He keeps trying to fight people and he can't fight. You know, I mean, you take a look at me, it's probably not obvious that I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I just look like an old, very handsome man with these deep blue eyes that I have that captivate you and make you fall in love with me. But you look at my ears, they're not very torn up. You know, if you look close, you might be able to see something. Another grappler could probably figure out. You know, the only other thing that you have to really look at is how fucked up my hands are. But most guys aren't looking at hands either. So he starts shit with somebody like me, I'm probably not gonna escalate, but if he gets close or handsy a guy like that, I'm gonna put him down. And you're absolutely right, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. If he actually did some training, he might get some respect and find some humbleness. And so if you ship anything to him, I would flip and ship that part, that he should start training. It would be good for him, and it might calm him down. Killer Beast kimonos were good. Well, I have to take your word on it. You're A2, A3, 5'10", 185. Yeah, so you're kind of like me. You're in a weird like sizing thing. So for me, 6'3"-ish, and I think I'm about 230 right now. If I'm lifting, I had a lot of back and shoulder issues over the past year or so I haven't been lifting at all. If I'm lifting, I can get up to 245 pretty quick. I wear an A3. A3 fits me just fine, but the key is I don't shrink it at all. I don't wash it in hot water, I don't dry them, I always air dry them, and they stay perfect size for me. If I were to dry them or wash them in hot water, they shrink, they no longer fit. A4s are too big, more so on the pants size, because guys my height usually have longer legs. I have a big torso. I'm built more like I guess traditional power lifter, you know, big torso, shorter legs for my height. And also, I'm not fat, so the A4 gi is just a little too much. I'd have to get them tailored. So I get your pain. You know, you could probably get away with an A2 if you don't dry it and don't wash it with hot water. So next time you buy an A2, see if that works for you. A3 is probably going to be a little too big for you, kind of like my A4s are. Drinking and tannerite. Yeah. All right, that's fair. But drinking and shooting is probably not a good idea, dude. I wouldn't be handling firearms drinking. You know better than that. Was it our other friend that you were out with doing this? It wasn't Joe. I'm assuming it was our other buddy. Yeah, Abstract, you're absolutely right. He's gonna end up trying the wrong dude. He really is. You know, it's kind of like the other Vietnamese streamer. Well, he's not Vietnamese, he's a Westerner, but he's here in Vietnam. I'm not going to say his name, but you probably know who I'm talking about. He's in Saigon. You know, he's a big dude, fat, but he doesn't know his head from his ass. And he's going to come off sideways with the wrong guy one night, as he has in the past, and he's going to get his shit pushed in. You know, you just can't be doing that shit. All right, Egg. Peace out, brother. Thanks for coming in. And you and Joe try to get in here a little more often, please. These eyes, yeah. They're happy eyes right now. It's when I get calm and silent that usually the bad shit comes. I don't get psycho eyes or anything. They just stop smiling. Or so I've been told. I don't know. It's not like I hold a mirror up to myself when I'm getting ready to handle some business. Yeah, I'm kind of the same with you, Abstract. I think for me, for striking stuff, I have very horrible flexibility in my legs. My hamstrings have always been tight. As an oddity, I'm actually a very quick sprinter, but and I can lift a lot of weight, but between my lower back issues, my tight hamstrings, I'm not flexible there. So I can't throw like an upper torso kick or a head kick. I'm low kick, thigh kick. Now I can knee, I can teep, but that's about the extent in my Muay Thai, and I'm okay with it. I can work around that. I've got heavy hands. I grew up boxing, but that was a weird thing for me when I started taking Muay Thai. You know, I'm used to every combat art that I've participated in: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, boxing. Always cutting the angles and stuff to attack. And when I got into Muay Thai, they kept telling me to stop hitting the angle. And I'm like, don't you want to hit the angle? Isn't that better? And I found out real quick why not when coach kicked me in my fucking ribs. And it's like, that's why you don't do it. Okay. Now I gotta come head on. People who train are more chill. I'm breathing light. You know who I'm talking about. Hell, he might even be watching. I was briefly affiliated with that individual until I kind of saw everything that was going down. And I also didn't like the way he was treating his donators, specifically Jackpot. Jackpot is a nice dude. I shouldn't say was a nice dude. He is a nice dude. He's very giving with subscriptions to people. He had given that individual a lot of subscriptions, and I was present that video night that he went live and shit all over Jackpot, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. Even though I don't know Jackpot in real life, I've talked to him offline. He's supported my channel a bit. He seems like a great guy, and to treat somebody who's giving you subs and donos like that, it's messed up, man. I can't get behind that type of behavior. And I was getting a little bit of, not directly that from Shava last night, but there was an entitlement factor coming in. Hence my rant a little bit ago. Who the F do you think you are? You probably know. There was a very lengthy documentary put out about the guy. And funnily enough, he said everything was taken out of context. I don't know that you need much more context in the videos that I saw. He scammed his mods. Ooh, I wasn't paying enough attention. What happened, Breathing Light? An Abstract, 100%. He is a trash individual. I don't mind trolls. I don't mind if people want to come in here and talk shit, as long as they're creative. But I don't want trolls like that, like he has in here. This isn't going to be sunshine, puppy dogs, and rainbows all the time. But we're not creating content like that. I'm not harboring a community like that. If we get bigger, I get bigger. I don't want that around. Uh-oh, Professor Tom's coming. $42 subs? One donated 42 subs, really? Seriously, 42 subs. At a minimum, that should have been 4 spins. But in reality, it should have been more like 10 spins. 3, 4, 5 subs was probably the correct asking price, and I ended up getting pissed and saying that at one point in time. I thought I said something like that. Maybe I said it in Waxy's. But if it wasn't for Waxy, we wouldn't have got some of the shit that we got. But it was such baby gloves stuff he was doing. I gotta dye my hair. Hair grows back, dude. You gotta dye your hair green. Might actually make you look better. Very messed up. I could see 15. 15 would have been a good number. I could come up with 15 things that I would do that would be far worse than the shit he had on there. You know, like, why wasn't there a slap to the face? The Muay Thai guy punching him was a good one, but I went off on that because he wanted to wear the girdle, and I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The guy's got a glove on. Getting hit with a girdle on, yeah, whatever. You're still going to feel some of it, but if you're going to do this for money, take the hit. Real, like when we were talking about waterboarding, no, we wouldn't have got away. There's no way anybody would have got away with that. It's too dangerous. You know, it's fun to talk about and stuff, but I understand you couldn't put it on there. There are a lot of other things that could have been done. You know, like he tried to get out of eating the whole onion. No, eat the whole onion. Oh, wrestling with a lady-boy. Nothing wrong with that. Pay a lady boy to come in. They'll probably do it. 1,000 baht, $30 to pay a lady boy to come in. Obviously not nude. Shit, what else? All right, slap with a big fish. That was all right, I guess. Well, it was the U.S. Probably could have tasered. Get away with that. Shit, I don't know. Snort wasabi. Do a line of wasabi. I mean, there's a ton of shit. Yeah, eat the bugs. Eat 7 bugs. I'm in agreement on that too. Like, and they were the cooked ones. The worms were the easiest one out of any of them. Anybody can handle that. They're really not bad. You get over the fact that it's a bug. If you just pop it in your mouth, they actually taste good. North south of the ladybug. That's what we were hoping to see. And you know, the ladyboy, if they're manhandling him, would have made it fun. You know, they would have gotten mount, or if they got Shaba and Turtle, which is on all fours, you know, I could see the ladyboy grinding him and stuff. That would have been hilarious, and that would have made for good content. Good content. You know, nobody's getting hurt. Yeah, you know, sexual innuendos or whatever, but it would have been funny clips that could have helped him go viral. I mean, I'm not into the LeBrons, but I would do it. I would do it for content. I'll grapple a lady boy. Smoke a bong of everybody's pubes. All right, yeah. I mean, that would be absolutely disgusting because smelling hair burn is horrible. I mean, we've got really good ideas. Really good ideas that could have it could have been implemented and would have been safe. The live squid was a good one, but I didn't realize how small it was. It would have been better if it was a bigger one. Shit, what else? Spar around with a Muay Thai guy. I wouldn't have allowed the girdle, but I would have let him put headgear on. That little dude had some power to him. I forget what his name is. I followed him once I looked him up on Insta. He's got some power to him. Imagine taking a leg kick from that little guy. I need a haircut. We're getting a little shaggy, a little hippie, boys. I mean, that's a possibility, abstract. A very distinct possibility that could be one of the motivating factors. But I think there was definitely some entitlement there also. I don't know all the ins and outs. I mean, I heard something to the effect that he basically won an insurance settlement or something for a not insignificant amount of money, but if it's the amount that I was told, you can go through that pretty quick depending on what you're doing. I was thinking the same thing. I feel like his visa should be coming up, and you can't do visa runs anymore, so what's he going to do? Oh, so it was bigger. He ran through 42. If that's true, holy shit. What the hell's he spending his money on? Like, how many freelancers and shit is this guy buying at a time? That is wild. Yeah, I would say so. And he's going to have, I mean, he's got the experience to show for it, but he won't have anything after. What's he going to do? Go back to the States? The job market's shit. Yeah, but the biggest price is getting here from the US. That's your biggest price. Once you're in these other countries and stuff, you can live pretty well on a pretty low amount of money. I mean, hell, I live pretty goddamn good here in Vietnam. And the money that I have coming in, I don't even spend it every month. I could, if I wanted to, if I wanted to ham out, yeah, I could be broke by the end of the month. But, I mean, I still do things. I take my lady out. I buy supplements. You know, supplements aren't cheap. I'm still paying Western prices for creatine, BCAAs, pre-workout, fish oil, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I can't show it to you. I think it'll Bluetooth also, but there is a little receiver that I plug into the USB-C, and then it fires this up. But I've seen other streamers who seem to have it, I think, with just this into the phone. I've just never paired it up that way. It was actually a good little investment, honestly. It comes with 2 microphones. It's got its own little charging case. I got it for like 90 bucks in Thailand, brand new. Think about, the only problem I've really had with streaming is my phone will start to overheat. I've got a 16 Pro Max headphone, and I think it's mainly due to the software that I use. So I use Prism because I wasn't sure how far I was going to go and just starting off. I didn't see a need to pay for Streamlabs because it's more expensive. Um, so I went with Prism. They released an update, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, and it's been making the phone overheat. I'll have to check it out. Like I said, I've got the little thing plugged into the USB-C port, but when I get home later, I'll play around with it because here shortly I'm probably going to cut stream. I got to ride a motorbike back home, eat, and then probably go to the market and the fish store with a gal. She's probably pissed. I was actually supposed to be out here doing work, but they don't have anything for me to do. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, there's certain shit I won't eat. Like, I'm not going to eat a scorpion, but that's only because everybody I've known who have eaten street food scorpion have ended up with absolutely horrible food poisoning. So I would stay away from that. But any of the bugs and stuff, anything hot, bring it on. I wouldn't do like an eating challenge, like eat 100 hot dogs or 20 hot dogs. That's just too much. I can't eat like that. But yeah, I guess it would depend on what it is. Yeah, I can eat spicy. I can eat spicy. Spice at a certain level goes from pain to, the best analogy is kind of gets me high. And I think that's because your endorphins start flowing. There's a taco truck back in the US. My favorite tacos in all of the United States. Fat Boy Tacos, Adrian, you're my dude. They used to cater to us once a week when we were opening the data center up out there in Tennessee. And his red sauce, his rojo sauce, it was spicy, but it wasn't spicy enough. So I talked a lot of shit to him. And he said, my cousin makes a ghost pepper sauce. I'll bring it in for you. And that shit was hot. But I ended up like slightly aggro, in a good mood aggro. It felt like I was bulletproof on that shit. And it's just a hot sauce. No hands fried rice challenge. Yeah, I do the no hands fried rice challenge. You set the parameters or whatever, and if we agreed on it, yeah, I would absolutely do it. Unlimited rice challenge. That one I couldn't do. Like I said, I'm a big guy, but I've never been able to like overeat. I suck to take to a buffet because I get what I need and then I'm done. Yeah, no, gluttonous stuff I can't do. I just couldn't do it. I'm like physically incapable of it. My stomach gets to a certain size and just there's no more. I couldn't even force it. I'd be a horrible competitive eater. But any other weird shit, we can give it a go. Spicy stuff, we can do that. If you can find, or we can find something around here. I mean, I've eaten red peppers raw here. They're hard unless you have that capability, and I just don't. I wouldn't even agree to it because I know I would fail it. It wouldn't even be that good. One bowl of pho and I'm good to go. Like, I don't need more. I'm satiated. I feel full. So the no hands rice one, I mean, that sounds easy. You're just gonna get shit all over the place. I'd be down for that. Yeah, if we can find something, whatever would fit your parameters for it, I'm game. Yeah, even like the food challenges that some places have in the U.S. like the big steak challenge or whatever, or the huge hamburger challenge where you got to eat the hamburger, drink a drink, and eat the fries. There's no way I would win those. Even if I starved myself, trained twice before coming in, I would eat a decent amount, but I wouldn't get through the whole thing. There's no way. Spicy though, we can do that. So the Samtam Ladyboy and udon that I was telling you about is known for his spicy samtam. Even the Thais think it's spicy. That hit me pretty good. That was pretty. And I messed up before we went. Literally 10 minutes before we got there, I used Listerine mouthwash, and so all my pores in my mouth were open. So as soon as the spicy hit, it was on. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut the stream down because we've been streaming for about 2 hours now, and I gotta save my battery because my streaming phone is actually my Grab phone to order my Grab home. But I'm gonna get home, recharge everything. If you guys are still awake, I'll probably pop back on later, do a walking to the market stream, probably hour and a half from now, because they close down early. Then we'll go to the fish store also, and so you guys will get to see that, the market, and yada yada. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I think we had 6 people at one point in time, but I appreciate the support and all that. But yeah, all right, buddy, take care. Peace.